Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. Today's short video is on workshop lighting. And no, I'm not going to be upgrading my own lighting. I did that a couple of years ago and I didn't even do a video of it then. Today's about lighting in general in workshops and how you can use it to identify things like joint or chatter, planer snipe, identifying different woods by their colors, and even color matching dyes and stains. And I want to thank the nice folks at Sansi LED Lighting for sending me some samples of their light bulbs. It really was something that I needed in my shop, and I'm going to show you how it's helping me. So stick around. Let's get started. For those of you who are new to my channel, you might not know that I spent many years in the photographic business. And when I did, one of the things that we learned a lot about was lighting, and it served me so well over the years. Today I'm only going to talk about three things about lighting. The first one is form, and that's sort of the difference between a sunny day and a cloudy day. I'm going to talk about the color of light, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. And the third one is volume, and that's sort of how bright it is. So let's start with that one. The volume of light, or how bright it is in your workshop, is the easiest thing to upgrade. We always want to work in a nice, bright, well-lit area because not only is it safer, it's more accurate because we can actually see what we're doing. And when you change or add LED light bulbs, you're adding something that's got that much more power, but it also uses less electricity, and the light bulbs last a lot longer. So lots of good reasons to upgrade the brilliance in your workshop. Let's talk for a moment about the color of light. And it's measured in something called Kelvin. 3000 Kelvin is sort of a warm yellowish light, whereas 5000 or 5500 Kelvin is called true daylight color. Here's an example of two different panels of wood. Under yellow light, or 3000 Kelvin, the differences in the tones are more muted. But under true daylight, the color tones are much easier to tell apart. The right panel is bamboo, the left is cherry. So here's an example where you might be color matching, and I'm really not trying to color match here. This is just a demonstration to show you that daylight lighting really makes a difference if you're trying to match colors. And for example, if you've ever had a scratch or a bump on your car and you take it to the auto body and they need to match paints, they don't look at it under a tungsten light to see if they've matched the color of your car. They actually take those samples outside very often and look at them under sunlight to make sure that they've matched those colors as close as they can. So daylight type lighting is always the most accurate to use. One last little note on color temperature. A few years ago when I started making videos, I needed to upgrade my lighting during the videos, and I got this set of lighting here, and you can see they sent these light bulbs, and you can see how that flops around in there. I've had to replace these, and this was the replacement that they sent me. Now, I tried to get more of these just a few weeks ago, and they don't make them anymore. So I've been in a little bit of a panic mode lately until I was in touch with Sansi, and I discovered that they're one of the only ones that I've been able to find that are making a 5000 Kelvin. So that's near perfect daylight. 5500 is perfect, but 5000 is almost perfect. That's what the color temperature of these lights are, and you can see that I'm going to replace all of these old fluorescents with new LED bulbs. So for those of you that ask what I use for lighting, there you have it. Oh, and I should tell you, some of you are going to wonder what this hole is in the middle of the bulb. Sansi apparently has 400 engineers in their R&D department, and one of the things that they discovered was if you have this sort of inverted cone, it dissipates the heat better, so the light bulb doesn't get so hot, and that probably is what helps prolong the life of it as well, because as woodworkers, we all know that heat is the enemy of power tools, so it probably is of lighting too. And the last element of lighting is the form, and that's really the difference between daylight, nice bright sunny daylight, and a cloudy day. And I use mostly diffuse lighting in here, except when I have the video lights on, and then I have a mix. So I have a little bit of a mix between a sunny day and a cloudy day, but I want to show you the difference because it does make a difference. So if you look behind me and see what the shadow's like, and I'm going to change bulbs now and show you what the difference. Look at the shadow. See how dim the shadow is there? There, you see the difference? See how much more distinct those shadows are this time? And that's because I've changed bulbs. I have a much more focused light. So it's more like sunlight is what I'm emulating here because it's a harsher, less diffuse light. And it really makes a big difference. Neither one of them are right or wrong, but I'm going to show you how you can use them to your advantage. At the beginning of the video, I talked about jointer chatter and planer snipe. And just as a review, jointers usually have 2 or 3 knives, and as they're planing the wood, they leave a very little tiny ripple, almost like little tiny waves. Planers leave those same kind of waves very often, but they'll also leave something called snipe. And what that is when you feed the wood through, sometimes at the beginning or the end, when the rollers sort of jog a bit, it leaves a little bit of a dip at the beginning or the end, and that's called snipe. And those are defects that we want to identify ahead of time because sometimes they stand right out after the wood is finished. So we want to be able to identify them ahead of time, and that's where the kind of light that we have will help identify them. So diffuse light will kind of mask that a little bit, whereas highlight specular light, like a sunlight, that highlight shadows more, will help to identify that a bit better. And here's an example of jointer chatter, and it's pretty hard to see it on there, but watch when I turn this piece of wood around so the light strikes it from a different angle. There's the exact same piece of wood, and you can see that I'm using specular or more direct light, and that's because it highlights shadows better, so it's easier to see. And here's the same comparison now with diffuse light, and this is looking now at planar snipe, and watch when I change the lighting. And there's the planar snipe. There's the line right there where you can see that. It's not quite as evident on this piece of wood, but it does make a little bit of a difference. So as a quick review, I first talked about the brilliance of light, and so working in a nice, bright, well-lit workshop. Then I talked about the coloration, so 3000 Kelvin, sort of yellow, compared to nice, brilliant, true color that you get from daylight bulbs. And then I talked about the form of light, so a cloudy day versus a sunny day, and how there's nothing wrong with either one of them. You just need to be able to make them work for you and understand how that light works. Well, that concludes my video for today, and I really want to thank Sansi LED for helping me identify some new replacement bulbs for my video lights that I've desperately been looking for. And of course, there's links in the description box below and a full article on Woodwork Web, and it'll have all of the links as well. So lots of things to read up on lighting for the workshop. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.